Bonjour, everybody, and welcome to All the World's a Podcast. My name is Dottie, and I am your host. And today I am joined by Aaron Gomes, who is known for his work with MTP this last summer, his founding of Free Royal Theater Company in 2020. He's a hardworking friend and colleague of mine, going back to our high school days. Everyone, please welcome to the society, Mr. Aaron Gomes.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. So we've known each other since high
Yeah.
school. Our last project that we worked on together was Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a special surprise.
Oh, no. Oh,
Tell me
no.
what you know about this.
Oh, no. Oh, I was so skinny. Oh, that was a long time ago. I think I have one of these, too. Or
Yeah.
somewhere. I think my mom has it.
I want to do a movie night in the park where
Oh.
we just have because we didn't really get a high school reunion because of COVID.
Yeah.
So we could come and watch
Oh,
this,
that's horrifying and that sounds like fun.
right?
Oh, gosh. Okay. I can't look at that anymore.
Okay. Take it away. What have you done since Romeo and Juliet?
Oh, theater-wise, I did a fair amount after that. I continued in college. I did um, at Fresno City. I think it was only one show. I think it was only in Still Life for Iris at Fresno City, but I did a few shows at Fresno State and with Good Company Players afterwards. I did at Fresno State. I did Particle of Dread and um, Two Gentlemen of Verona. First with Jay Daniel and the second with Brad Myers, and those were really interesting experiences.
Okay.
That kind of revitalized my love for theater again. I'd lost it for a little while. I stopped.
Yeah.
I'd had not the best experiences at Fresno City, and I kind of ended up going away from it and doing other things.
Yeah.
But being a part of those shows was uplifting again, and also at Second City I did not Second City, Second Space. That's a very different thing. That's a very different thing. Um, with the Good Company Players, I did It's a Wonderful Life, the radio play version, which was
Nice.
so fun. It was so fun. It was like the rare experience where everything gelled, everyone got along.
And it was just
everything,
jazz.
It was just jazz. It was perfect. So all those experiences were really nice again. And then um, did a couple more shows. Did Star Spangled Girl, which was not the best experience because we were doing Star Spangled Girl. If you're familiar with the show, it's the 1960s comedy by Neil Simon. Not super great towards women, and not very of the time now. And after we had cast it, Me Too happened, and then we still did the show, which I think was probably a mistake. And there were many other. That was a very, very rocky production.
Yikes.
And I was like, I think I'm done. And then COVID happened, so everything kind of shut down anyway. And that's what led me to do Free Royal.
Well, you're kind of jumping ahead of me.
A little.
So,
Sorry.
hey, that's okay. You've been getting up to a lot. Tell me about Free Royal. What was the vision?
I mean, at first it was just. Obviously, it should preface that none of this ever came out. It just was something that we did, and it kind of got away from us. But the idea was that everything was shut down. None of us were working. None of us were able to do theater anymore because we couldn't be in a theater together at all.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of streamers, a lot of content creators, and I thought, maybe we could just do this online. Maybe we could stream this. Maybe there's something we could do. I watch a lot of people who talk about sort of the nuts and bolts of everything, and I started putting together I think I could do this way. Maybe we could film it like this. talked to a couple of friends, talked to Austin, who you've already interviewed, and a couple of other people, and they all seemed excited. They talked to other people, and a lot of people just kind of got on board, and we sort of put it together. The idea was to have a virtual theater where we would be live streaming and creating other content. My driving vision was that, like, apart from just being able to do theater in some
Right.
way, which was sort of the main thing,
Just be able to do art.
just be able to do it, which I think that it served that for all of us that were involved, at least, so that we at least got to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and I really, the thing that really gets me about theater and always has is the, like, exclusivity of it.
I've. That's why we're here.
Yeah, and that's part of why I'm, like, kind of excited about this, is because
Yeah.
it's very much along the same reason that I did what I did there
Yeah.
with Free Royal.
Just
and
remove those barriers.
just get the barriers away. And a lot of, I think there is the temptation and the long-standing stigma of, like, oh, well, it's ethereal, it's in the moment, and that's the magic of it. And that's true, but also a
But
lot
also,
of people can't see it, and that makes it harder for it to flourish and to live. So I wanted to, like,
yeah.
invite people in more, to make it not only available, so we're doing shows that people can just watch whenever, but also to create a lot of content that gets into the nuts and bolts. Let's talk to the scenic designers, let's talk to the costume designers about every show, how they're doing all the problem solving, and, like,
Yeah.
open this whole process up to people, because it's not just the acting that you see at the end, it's all the little pieces that are magic
Yeah.
and will draw different people in. There's a lot of people who love technical theater. I know a lot of people I know in technical theater, and they're, like, some of the most intelligent and creative people I know.
Yeah.
And I want them to get their flowers too,
Yeah.
and for people to be excited by all of it. All of it is cool. All of it is awesome. I just bumped that. Sorry.
It's totally okay.
But that
Meanwhile,
was
Jeremiah on sound is just, oh.
sorry. But I'm getting a little excited.
No, you're totally good. Please get excited.
But that was what I wanted to do, was not only to have it so that we could do it, but also kind of seize the opportunity to open it up a little more
Yeah.
and make all of it available to everybody.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we are so of one mind about all of that, because, I mean, that's what the Central Valley Theatrical Society is all about. Like, breaking down those barriers and being a society first, and really maintaining, like, creating and maintaining those connections between different creatives, and giving the flowers to people who usually don't get their flowers. Um, yeah, just fantastic. Um, so, you are a graphic designer.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. What does your process look like? I've never done graphic design before, but I have done costume design, so we might have some similarities. But
Currently, it's very messy. I'm trying to
okay,
get a lot more formalized, because the process, for me, involves a lot more research up ahead. For everyone, it should be a lot more research. You get taught a lot in school, because I went to school for this.
yeah,
I went to school up in Portland, at Portland State, and I had just the coolest professors on the planet. All of them were like, "Oh, this is the coolest professor I've ever had for anything." And then you take another class, like, "Oh no, this is the coolest professor."
they just continued putting on pairs of sunglasses.
They've got so many hats on top of them. There was one teacher I had, Briar Levitt is, like, the name. She's well known, worked in the field. I mean, all of them have worked in the field. But from her, I learned a lot more about. We did this class. It was design history, where we were learning about historical movements. It's like art history, but graphic design focused. And she also had us do these projects where we looked into various, like, issues, like, how do I describe this? We'd have to like read a bunch of media and then respond to it, and that's fairly rote. But I ended up finding a lot of books about like intersectionality in design and like representation
Mm.
of disabled people in design,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
sort of getting more into this like inclusivity and learning more about all of these things. And the thing that struck me most about that is all of the examples of people who do graphic design and don't ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I I try. I'm getting off track a little bit here.
No, I think you're right on track because any part of design is like all questions.
Hmm. Yeah, it's. I saw a lot of the point I'm trying to get at it is that I saw a lot of people who practice design and get paid to do design who don't care that much,
Yeah.
and I try to care at least more than that. I
Hey, you know?
it's so all of my attempts at trying to find what the beginning of my process is finding the care, figuring out what the real problem is, and how to address it responsibly in a way that makes sense and that is more than just kind of like checking a bunch of boxes. So a lot of research goes into that. And it's more research probably than a lot of other people would do. And then from there, the process is pretty well documented at this point. You do the research, you synthesize the research, you present it to your clients, and they find a direction, and then you go from there and formalize something, and eventually you have a design that everyone's happy with, that works, that goes out into the world.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. I think that's really cool. So, like, as a graphic designer, Comic Sans or Wingdings?
I actually really like so here's my font problem. I don't think Comic Sans is bad. I think it is overused by people who because it's available everywhere and it has like a fun feel. It's used by a lot of people who aren't like trained in design and they use it improperly.
Graphic design is my passion.
Graphic
Kind of.
design is my passion. But the thing about Comic Sans is it's dyslexia safe, so it
Right.
has a purpose. It has a use. You need to futz with the letting of the letters a little bit to make it look a little nicer. I think there are some new fonts that have the same feel, but are designed a little more palatably. But I think Comic Sans is nice. I think it's fine if it's used correctly. I think Wingdings is fine. I mean, it's just a bunch of symbols, so
Yeah.
it's they're useful in ways.
What is the purpose of Wingdings? Do you know?
I mean, they're just a bunch of symbols, right? So
I think so.
it's just to have it easy to address. Like you could just type and you get these symbols that are ubiquitous and easy to use. And a lot of design is just ease of use. That's the main thing. Is like can we make something that is it is communication. It is can we make this usable? It's not necessarily art. That's an argument that goes back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
Is it art? Is it commercial? It's a little both, but it leans a little more toward
Interesting.
commercial. You're using art skills to communicate, and you don't want it to be too floral, or else the more floral something is, the harder it is to understand, and the less usable it is.
Yeah.
So it really there's always a balancing act between that. But I think like Wingdings, it's just a bunch of symbols, so it's a font that everyone has access to get sort of standardized smiley faces, arrows, planes, so you can communicate across languages. Actually, is an important thing that symbols are recognized across languages, so it's easier to communicate that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the intention. The deeper dive I have is papyrus. I know a little more
Give
about
us your
papyrus.
papyrus uh,
Uh,
dissertation.
I have a very strong opinion about papyrus, and I started feeling very strongly about it, and then I actually read some interviews from the designer of papyrus, and I feel a little less strongly about it in the same way, but I still think Papyrus is racist. It's a
Okay,
racist
I
font.
thought that's where you were going with it, and I
It's-
was like, I feel like that's true.
It's racist. I don't think it wasn't designed to be racist, obviously. And I don't think it is itself racist, but I've seen a lot of examples of it being used just to imply exotic. And the person who designed it, I feel bad for him because it's not his fault. When he designed it, he was doing a lot of research on like the Bible, and he was going into like biblical scripts. He was looking at Egyptian scripts, and he actually did like I think he actually did write on papyrus and figured out how it looked, and that's really interesting. But what ended up happening is people used it to stand in for um, Mexicans, Native Americans,
Uh-huh.
Italians,
Hmm.
Asians, Indians, Japan, and so,
Anybody who wasn't
anyone
white.
who wasn't white.
Yeah.
So if it's supposed to stand in, if it's supposed to represent any of those, it doesn't represent any of them.
Right.
So it's used racistly. I think it should just be uninstalled. I think it should just be removed at this
Yeah.
point.
I.
That's my papaya. I feel bad for the designer because he seems like a nice guy,
Yeah.
but I think we're done with it.
Yeah.
I think it's over.
It's a little bit. Yeah. I. Yeah.
That's my strong papyrus stance.
So speaking of fonts, you used to do a lot of writing.
A little, yeah, I did.
Do you still do that?
No, absolutely
Okay.
none. I just don't have the patience for it anymore.
That's super real. So tell us about your working with MTP this last summer.
Yeah. What do you want to know about it?
So what was it like working with them?
It was really interesting. I learned a lot. They were my first big client after school. Um, it was really interesting to I got my first taste of like having authority on something and people listening to me. And when I said something, we started with when I start, it was a really like fast start where they hired me. I signed the contract, and then it was immediately got a text message of like, okay, here's something that's due this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's too fast.
Yeah.
I
Brother, this weekend we're gonna get a mood board.
Yeah, it was like, and the conversation was like, we would really love to have like to decide this a theme and have that kind of radiate out. And I was like, that's going to take a lot of... If you want something that's going to be applied to everything going out, I need a lot more lead time on that. And the problem was, the shows that were this season, coming back to my design process and the research and the care, the shows this season were very, very big cultural plays.
Yeah.
They were in the Heights. It was American Mariachi. It was The Lightning Thief, which heritage is still a really important part of that play. So it was like I really didn't feel comfortable just deciding something without asking people.
Right.
And especially since two of the shows are Latin culture plays, and I am not Latin at all. I really was like, I think we could do something kind of generic for now.
Yeah.
And I want to do interviews with the directors and talk to them all and then get their opinion and go from there for what the actual poses are going to look like. And that ended up being a very interesting process. The interviews were all so helpful, and I'm really glad that I fought to do those, or asked to do those, and that they agreed and set them up, and we did them. And it was, so basically, I had three bosses. I had three very different people to find three very different directions for, and also a top level boss to be beholden to for production stuff.
Yeah.
Like this, this is how big the paper is going to be. We're not printing any larger than this. And then three different people with three different expectations of what they wanted from the posters. That was really interesting and they were very different, each of them. So I got a lot of experience at dealing with very different types of people in terms of how the design worked, and that was really exciting and scary and
Yeah.
hard, but really rewarding. And I felt really happy with how it all came out. Surprisingly happy with how everything came out, having to balance all those voices.
Yeah. That's super cool. Um, all right. Um, are you what projects are you looking forward to?
Um, Currently I don't have too much. I'm working on something for you guys.
Yes.
And that's really fun.
He's gonna be our graphic designer.
That's exciting. Currently I'm kind of just doing a lot of work for coworkers and other people that I know.
Okay.
But I am getting a lot of work or I'm getting interest in talking to based off of the MTP work, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, and then I've got my own personal stuff that I'm working on. That's gonna be fun. I've got to do my own personal branding,
Nice.
which is gonna be a lot of fun. Getting my portfolio together, and just learning a lot of new stuff. I'm learning 3D.
Ooh. 3D is a whole thing. Which program are you learning?
Blender.
Blender is rough. I would start with SolidWorks if you can.
Hmm.
It does the same thing as Blender, except um, it's much more intuitive, and you can create different pieces that then fit into each other
Hmm.
later on. But Blender is also free, so I
Yeah.
understand why you went with that one.
It is free, which is the cool part.
Yeah.
is that it's free.
It's so hard though.
It
Oh
is.
my gosh.
I've gone through the donut tutorial.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that.
Famous donut.
The donut.
tutorial.
I've made the donut, and I made the animation, and it all worked out. So
Okay.
yeah.
Heck yeah. Love that for you. All right. Do you have any socials you'd like to plug?
Not currently. No, I'm very behind.
Oh, okay. Is there an email address that you would like to share?
Yeah, you can find me. You can get a hold of me at aarongomesdesign@gmail.com currently.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate you. And like he said, reach out to him by his email if you'd like to book. Oh my god, I keep smacking my mic. If you'd like to book him for a job. And stay tuned to see what he does with the society and what we do as a society. So, I think that's all I have.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.